Boy, another beautiful November day, and here we are. Today we're gonna harvest some horseradish. Now this is my second time harvesting, but this plant has been growing for 3 years. He looked big and healthy this year, and he's got all kinds of healthy leaves. I've actually been picking those leaves off and chewing on them a little bit throughout the summer, and he's got some good flavor. So we're gonna dig him up today. We're gonna process a little bit, and we're gonna save some for later. Anyway, I'm gonna get to it, and I'm not gonna film me digging. You don't need to see that. So everybody knows how to dig a hole, and you want to just start a ways out. I'm gonna start probably out to about here, just to make sure I don't miss any of that goodness. And since we're moving and we're not going to be around next year, I want to get it all and take some with me and maybe start it again. So I'm going to commence to digging. I'll probably trim the tops off, dig up the roots, and then we'll come back and see what I got. So before I started digging, I decided to come back one more time and just show him with his haircut. And here's our horseradish plant. See, so there's pretty good stalks in there. I'm expecting to get some pretty good roots. So let's get to digging. Alright, so there we have it. Big old knob there. A couple of pretty good roots. Man, that ground was hard, and he was in like a tick on a hound dog. But anyway, here we are, and I'm going to go hose it down and get some pieces that I want, and I'm going to go see if we can make us up some fresh horseradish for dinner tonight. And we're going to try to store some too. Okay, we got it all washed off, and I'm going to soak it in water. That was one of the suggestions. And then going to get some of those little roots off, but not a bad haul. I don't think there's some pretty good roots. I kept some of the smaller ones. Anything less than these noodle size I threw away, but I figured, yeah, I'm grinding it up. Nobody knows how big the root was before it was ground. So anyway, here we are, and we'll be grinding it next outside, because boy, it's already smelly. If the house wasn't for sale, I'd do it inside, but can't have it smelling like horseradish if someone wants to come look at it. So anyway, here we are, and we'll be back in a bit. Alright, so I got it all washed, and I got it all peeled with a vegetable peeler. That thing is awesome, man. It only took me about 2 or 3 minutes to do all this. It's a little hand peeler. I'm not sponsored by them, so I'm not going to be able to read the name on their little peeler. If I was, I could probably read that, but I'm not. So anyway, here it is washed, and what we're going to do next is cube it up. I'm doing this solo because of the smell, and so I'm going to cut away. I'm going to cut it into cubes, and then we're going to start grinding it. Fast to go ahead and grind this in here. So this is what I ended up cut up. Looks like probably 4 or 5 cups. Yeah, I got this little mini toy food processor, but I'm gonna just do it in 2 or 3 different batches and play with it and see how the first one comes out, and we'll go from there. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and try not to make too big of a mess doing this one-handed. I would have had a camera woman to help me here, but it's a it's a little eye-watering job in here right now, and she doesn't go for that. So anyway, here we are. I'm going to put the lid on that, and I'm going to grind it. I'm going to go for 3 minutes is what I'm going to try first of all, and see how it goes. If it's just tearing things up, I'll probably add a little bit of water to it to get there. I know the recipe for this is grind it until it's good and coarse, add some water, add some salt. Ratios depends. It's like a couple of teaspoons of salt, and I'm a salt lover, so that's no big deal. And then it's a little bit of water to get the consistency, and then after 3 or 4 minutes, I guess the longer you let it go, the hotter it gets. So I'm going to go 3 or 4 minutes on it, see where we get to, and then right at the end I'm going to add about probably 2 tablespoons of vinegar. That's going to set the heat and stop the reaction. So Anyway, I'm going to cut back in when I can once I get it grinding and see how it looks. Okay, so I had to change original plan a little bit. I cut back on about half what I put in there, and I added in a 1/4 cup of water just to get it. This little guy was just struggling, so by doing this, it's actually getting to a consistency. I've been going a couple of minutes. I'm going to a couple of minutes more. I'm going to just film a little bit of this so you can see it going around and chop it up and grinding, and then I'll come back when I get more towards the end. I took the lid off this a second ago to add a little water, and I love horseradish, and it's just hotter the better, but just the smell of this about tore my head completely off. And let me show you what it looks like on the inside real quick. So it's a little bit of a woody texture. I'm pretty happy with the consistency. Like I said, I'm gonna let her keep going here a while longer. You gotta stay back from it because it's, as you can see, it's just a perfect consistency. But oh, there's a whiff of it, and the eyes are watering. Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff. And the eyes are watering just while you're near it, let alone when you get it in your mouth. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, we're going to proceed, and I'll check back in with you so I can see what I'm doing again. Okay, so here we are back. I don't know if you can hear me with this thing running. I don't know if you can hear it without running. Anyway, this is my last batch. I've done 5 little batches. This little guy worked great, but my first batch I struggled with, but then I had to put a little bit of edge on my blades, and then it went through perfect. But I just added the vinegar in, did my last minute. I was doing about 3 minutes per batch, and then I'd add vinegar in at the end and do the 1 more minute. So I got this much already. You can see it's just perfect, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I'm going to introduce that in there and then stir it up, and then I'm going to put this back on because, I mean, I love horseradish. I mean, I love it. My grandpa lived to be 100 years old. He said he ate it every morning, and it was hot, and I grew up with it hot. I have never had this tear my head off like this stuff. I haven't even tasted it yet, but just breathing this, wow. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we'll no bread. My wife come down to film. She was upstairs, and I wore her out of the house. I mean, a grown man cries. This is about the only time a grown man should ever cry, is when he's doing this. I know I'm dead because I shouldn't have done this in the house. I don't think I'll ever do it. Anyway, if you want to come over here and holy smoke. And here's the final. Oh, man, the pain. Anyway, here's the final. You want to zoom in on that? Now, before I put the lid on and set this outside for a while, I gotta do it. Oh, I can't even get close. Oh, wow. I don't know what a lightweight would do in this situation. The wife, she's on like 25 zoom now. I should clear on the other side of the house. But anyway, I seen a guy on YouTube do this, and he took a spoonful. I ain't doing that. Ooh. Oh, it's got that woody taste and all the heat in the world. Anyway, that's some good stuff there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cap. Oh, no air. I'm gonna cap that off and go outside for a while. But anyway, try that. That's a lot of fun. Anyway, another project, another task done. Never done it that far before. And as you can see, I got all that out of about
few roots, and that stuff for a little tiny jar that big is $2 or $3 in the store. So there's probably $200 or $300 worth of horseradish there. And guaranteed that's going to tear your head off.